Are men who exploit children getting a free ride from family planning and abortion centers? WB33 looks into allegations of wrongdoing inside North Texas clinics. There are allegations tonight that some family planning and abortion clinics aren't following a critical law meant to protect children.
In a 3-month investigation, WB33 uncovered disturbing and possibly illegal activity. WB33's Dawn Tongish has more in this exclusive On Target investigation.
The law we're talking about requires employees of these clinics to report suspected child abuse. Now, these facilities see a lot of underage girls who could be victims of abuse. But a North Texas undercover operation shared exclusively with WB33 reveals the law is possibly being ignored.
Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood.
I'm going to be 14 in March.
It's a call that should cause alarm.
I was wondering if you guys do abortions there.
She says she's a 13-year-old child.
But my boyfriend's 22.
Pregnant by an older man. In the eyes of the law, that's sexual assault. The man could go to jail.
Well, would you have to tell anybody that I was on birth control?
Everything's confidential here.
Confidential?
Oh, okay.
That's not what the law says. Employees who work for family planning centers and abortion clinics are considered mandatory reporters. If a worker even suspects child abuse, that employee is obligated to tell authorities. Mark Crutcher, who founded Life Dynamics in Denton, earlier this year says his group taped telephone calls to more than 800 family planning and abortion clinics across the country, including 18 in North Texas.
Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood.
Life Dynamics staged a scenario in which the caller, an adult, claimed she was a 13-year-old girl pregnant by her 22-year-old boyfriend. The girl doesn't want anyone to find out. But local police, child abuse investigators tell us a minor asking for a pregnancy test, even birth control, should prompt a report. But in this call to Trinity Valley Women's Clinic in Fort Worth, it seems that isn't a problem.
You sure no one would have to know about me and my boyfriend or anything? Okay.
No, not to do pregnancy tests or birth control pills, anything but an abortion. Nobody has to know.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't even have to show your ID when you do the pregnancy test.
In another call to Dallas, the employee sounds like she's coaching the girl to hide her abuser's age.
So nobody would find out about him?
We don't even want to know about him because technically we would have to report him to the cops.
Oh. Okay.
Like I said, that's statutory rape.
Planned Parenthood refused to do an interview. But in a written statement, they told us they comply fully with child welfare reporting obligations. But in this call to one of their centers, an employee indicates a girl getting a pregnancy test won't trigger a report.
Well, does anybody have to know about, like, getting a pregnancy test?
No. Nobody has to know anything. You just walk in. You can be 10 years old and walk in and get a pregnancy test, and nobody has to tell anybody.
Some centers around the country and in North Texas told the girl they would report. But Life Dynamics says in 91% of the calls, the people on the phone agreed to cover up the relationship.
Well, what if it said that I wasn't pregnant?
I mean, if you're not pregnant, it's not that, well, I don't want to say it's not that big of a deal. It's just we don't have to report if you're not pregnant.
She should have immediately on the phone been getting information. I mean, she's a trained medical provider, I assume.
We played the tapes for state lawmaker Phil King, who is also an attorney. The pro-life Republican was troubled by what he heard.
She should have been getting information, but exceptionally concerned that a 22-year-old had sexual relations with a 13-year-old. But all they were concerned about, as you can tell, was telling her how to get this abortion.
This is against the law.
Carol Everett, who was on the task force that wrote the laws for abortion clinics, says the centers are ignoring their legal obligations.
That is a sick relationship that needs to be stopped immediately, and the clinic has a responsibility to report that information.
Again and again, these people encouraged her to lie, encouraged her to deceive her parents, encouraged her to violate state law.
Trinity Valley Women's Center.
This call came to Trinity Valley Women's Clinic, where it seems the employee suggests a way around the law that says a parent must be notified before a minor gets an abortion. The employee talks about bringing in a man to pose as a parent.
Even if he was older, I mean, we have to see their driver's license.
Okay.
You can't prove that they're not your mom or dad. We don't, they just have to swear on an affidavit here in our office that says that they are your, parent.
Yeah, I see.
I mean, I'm not even supposed to be telling you this, but there's no way that I can know for a fact that who you bring in here is not your mom or dad.
The next day, the caller talks to the same employee.
I was talking to my boyfriend, and I told him what you said about getting someone to come in that was old enough to look like my dad.
Yes.
Well, he's got an uncle who's 50 who said he would do it.
Well, as long as he doesn't tell me he's not your father, then we're all right.
We took the tape to that clinic in Fort Worth to get an explanation.
Linda, is she here?
I'm asking you to go ahead and leave.
Okay, so she's not here. What time will she be back in the morning?
I have no idea. There's no comment. Please leave.
Okay.
We did reach the clinic employee by phone.
If they walk in this door and say, I'm not really her parent, then okay, bye-bye.
We played the tape, confronting her with her own recorded voice.
I can tell you that I told her that she has to sign a sworn affidavit putting her life in jeopardy if she's not the true parent.
What were you trying to tell her about bringing someone in who is old enough to be her parent?
Very much.
We also wanted to get answers from Westside Clinic in Fort Worth. In a call that came in there, an employee suggested sending a letter that may or may not reach a parent.
And if that letter comes back to us, it doesn't matter. Even if it comes back, it's returned, it doesn't get to your parents. And after 48 hours, if we don't hear anything from anybody or we get the letter back, we can schedule you for an appointment even though you're underage.
At the clinic, we found a woman who said she was the director.
So that wouldn't be something that you would tell them that would be okay if the letter came back to you? Well, that's what Dawn told a girl.
Dawn told her that.
Mm-hmm. Did Dawn make a mistake in doing that?
No, she didn't make a mistake because that's not what she was told. And that's not what she said. So.
Well, then you would probably like to hear this tape. I've got it right here. We can go in a back room and you can listen to it.
That's okay. You can play it to the corporate office if you want.
We tried to call that corporate office. The phone has been off the hook for weeks.
They're circumventing the process, and they're getting around the law. And again, what you heard committed was a crime.
State lawmaker Phil King, who helped write the parental notification law, listened to the tapes and was stunned by the boldness.
You know, if they were worried about getting caught, they would say, well, before we talk, come in person and let me meet with you. They aren't even doing that. They're doing it over the phone. So that tells me they're doing it all the time. It's very offensive.
I'm very disappointed and troubled.
Even King's Democrat counterpart, Dale Tillery, who is pro-choice, thought the clinics went too far.
This is a violation of the law. It's not a loophole. It's not legal to do this. It's illegal conduct.
Carol Everett used to own abortion clinics. She says it was standard practice to target teens, seen as likely repeat customers.
If it were truly about helping the girl, they would stop the telephone call, say, tell your parents we cannot help you. But this is a potential client who has the money to come into their clinic.
The tapes have raised questions about what is really going on inside the clinics. Some lawmakers are calling for an investigation by the Attorney General, and so is Crutcher.
What you're looking at here is the largest criminal conspiracy in American history. If that doesn't justify a full-scale investigation by every state in this country into these family planning organizations, I don't know what would.
We asked Planned Parenthood to provide us evidence that Crutcher is wrong, that they do tell authorities. They refuse to provide us with any reports. Dawn Tongish, WV33 News at 9.
Oh, okay. Let me stop you right here, because if you tell me anything else, I have to call the police.
Why?
Because you're 13 and your partner's 22, right?
Yeah.
That's against the law. I have to report it by law.
Oh.
So I don't want to know your name or anything about you if you don't want me calling the police.
Okay.
So what you need to do is you need to call completely anonymously and, talk to someone on our appointment line.
Okay.
And don't tell us anything about who your partner is.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, but it's a legal thing. So,
well, what could happen?
Well, he could get in trouble, not you, but he could. So.
Well, are you going to tell on him?
No, I won't. But maybe when you go to the
the doctor, you shouldn't tell them how old your boyfriend is.
Oh, okay.
I think that would be better.
Okay.
Just, maybe have a girlfriend come with you and tell him your boyfriend's 16 or something.
Oh.
Because he could get in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Okay, so don't say anything about that.
Because you go in front of a judge and then he grants permission for you to have an abortion without your parents finding out. Okay. My problem is that if I were you, and this is just strictly off the record, if I were you, I would not say anything about your boyfriend being 22 years old.
So what I'm saying is, if we're not going to ask if you don't tell us.
Okay.
So, he can definitely bring you in, and there's no problem with that at all. Just probably I'd have to just suggest that you don't bring up the age thing to us.
You can come in. You don't need your parents' permission.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's just my boyfriend said that he would pay for everything. Would that be all right? Like, it's just we don't want a whole bunch of people to know about us. Would he have to sign anything?
Yeah, but I just don't talk about his age.
He's 22?
Yeah.
You know what? I would not bring him in.
Just don't bring him in at all?
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Forget that you told me that.
Okay. Okay, and they wouldn't have to tell my parents?
Right. And I wouldn't advise you to say anything about your boyfriend being 22 because that's statutory rape.
Because you are a minor and he is older than 18.
Yeah.
Okay, it's called statutory rape.
But he's not raping me. I mean,
I know, but
get married.
I know. I don't believe if you do not give us that tell us, do not, when you go to Norwich, you're going to want to give them a call.
Okay.
Don't tell them that information.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then it'll be okay.
If you do not say the age of your partner.
So if you tell, or if any client mentions this, that person would have to, under law, contact authorities.
Oh, okay.
If if that is not known, then that's not known.
Oh.
That's what matters.
Okay.
So that's basically, and that's the only general information.
So if I don't say anything about him, it'll be all right?
Well, I can't say that either. Like, I'm not supposed to say anything about that.
Oh.
But I think you got the picture.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, do you have to say anything about it?
I don't know your name yet.
Oh, okay.
So at the moment, let's keep it that way.
Okay.
Actually,
yeah.
That's considered statutory rape.
Okay.
And he's 22.
Well, what can I do?
You need to come in and let us evaluate.
Okay. Would you guys have to tell anybody?
Here, no. We don't tell anybody anything.
Okay.
We try and keep things confidential, but if it's something the clinician feels a bad feeling about, then she might call and report it.
So I shouldn't tell her anything?
Well, that is true. You could do that if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
So you could change his age or something if you feel that you need to.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell anyone I said that.
All right.
Okay?
We don't have to contact your parents.
Okay. Well, would you have to contact anyone else?
Well, I'll be honest with you. By law, because you are 13 years old, you should. Now, we've never reported anybody, okay?
Okay.
If you come in and you don't tell me, that your boyfriend is 22 years old, I don't know how old your boyfriend is, I mean, that's none of my business. But if you come in and you tell me that your boyfriend's 22 years old, he's going to get charged for statutory rape.
Oh, well, as long as you have the money in yourself, you're fine.
Okay. All right.
You don't have to worry about anybody else aside from you and your boyfriend knowing about it.
Okay.
Anybody else who knows will be somebody y'all tell.
Oh, all right.
Texas clinics. There are allegations tonight that some family planning and abortion clinics aren't following a critical law meant to protect children.
In a 3-month investigation, WB33 uncovered disturbing and possibly illegal activity. WB33's Dawn Tongish has more in this exclusive on-target investigation.
Are men who exploit children getting a free ride from family planning and abortion centers. WB33 looks into allegations of wrongdoing inside North Texas.
Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood.
I'm going to be 14 in March.
It's a call that should cause alarm.
I was wondering if you guys do abortions there.
She says she's a 13-year-old child.
But my boyfriend's 22.
Pregnant by an older man. In the eyes of the law, that's sexual assault. The man could go to jail. The law we're talking about requires employees of these clinics to report suspected child abuse. Now, these facilities see a lot of underage girls who could be victims of abuse. But a North Texas undercover operation shared exclusively with WB33 reveals the law is possibly being ignored.